Hi guys, and welcome to a haul. I have a couple of things to show you. I don't know. So, well, more than a couple. So today's my day off. Today is the 17th of April. It's Monday the 17th. As of right now, it's like 1:17 in the afternoon. It's been busy. So I ended up last night having, like, my mom had some friends come over and they had a cheese ball and some crackers. I love cheese and crackers. So when they left, I went down and I had a little bit of what was left over. Didn't realize that there's egg in a cheese ball. So I had to take some, thankfully I did not have any sort of a bad reaction, but I am allergic to egg. So as soon as I realized there was egg in that, and I didn't have much, but I ended up taking some Benadryl, and so I slept like a rock last night. And when I woke up, I got ready and my mom and I went and ran some errands. She stayed in the car the whole time. She went with me while I ran errands. I went Mother's Day shopping for her. So I had fun with that. So I went shopping. I went to Barnes & Noble, Bath & Body Works. Got stuff for me at both locations as well as her. And then I went and got my nails done. These are the new designs. You can't see. There you go. So this is the design that I got. I love these nails. I love this design. I had them shortened. Come on, focus back on me. Focus. Lean in. Lean out. Focus. There we go. Okay. I love this design. The gal's name is Lisa. She is in West Jordan, Utah. So if you are watching this and you happen to live in West Jordan, Utah, it's Lisa's Nails. You can find her on Instagram. I'll try and remember to link her Instagram in the description box. She does a really good job, and you can find a design. Max is going to be barking. You can find any design and she'll try to do that, and that's what I did. I just found this design online and she did it for me, and I absolutely love it. She does a really good job. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I had to go to the grocery store because I needed to get some. I like to have some. It's the Tillamook, I don't know, brand of medium cheddar cheese. I like to have those on hand in the refrigerator. So I'm feeling munchy, but I don't want to get like a big snack. I can just have like a stick of cheese. So I like to have those on hand, and I was out, so I had to get that. I had to pick up a medication, and I also had to get some deodorant because I'm on my last stick of deodorant. So I went and I got, Secret is my favorite brand, in these blue, so I got these. And I just got 3 of them. So I have Sweet Nectarine, Cool Water Lily, and Delicate Rose. It's not like the scent really makes much of a difference. I just like it and enjoy it. And then so I had to do that. We did that on the way home, and I had to get a half a gallon of milk. I don't drink nearly as much milk as I used to because I'm lactose intolerant. I can have a little bit of stuff, but I can't have a lot before it starts to really bother my stomach. So that's part of why I don't, the cheese sticks are good just to have like a little snack, and I get that dairy, I get that cheese that I love. And then I went to Bath & Body Works. I got this, and so this is in the scent of Fresh Cut Lilacs. For my mom. She's downstairs. Smells really good. So I got that for her. And then for me, I am on my last thing of shower gel. So I just got 3 things of shower gel. They had a buy 2 get 1 free. Yeah, buy 2 get 1 free. So that's what I did. So I got Japanese cherry blossom. This one I've never had before, but it's called At the Beach. This one, it smells kind of coconutty and kind of like that's beach oriented that you would expect. And then this one that smells like roses, which is Hello Beautiful. So that's the non-book part of this haul. Now, let me move that out of the way. Now for the books. Okay. Ooh, okay. So my goal moving forward is when I'm going to buy a book to, unless it's like a book for the Autism Reads, which I'll have the Discord linked in the description box, I would like to buy the books for that. And I think I have the next month's book already. I need to double check, so I shouldn't have to buy another book for at least a month for that. So I would like to do that. And then the other books that I will let myself buy is like out of a check. Get myself 2 or 3 books if I want. But I really would like to try to restrict like buying the books online to if it's the sequel or the next book in a series, and then go to like a bookstore like Barnes & Noble or a small bookshop or something like that, and buy like an independent bookstore, something like that. For that, my goal is to, so with my nails, I withdraw $100 a check. It doesn't cost nearly that much to do my nails, but then whatever's left, that gives me room for whatever design that she does. So it's going to range from $60 to whatever, and then you have the tip on top of that. But then whatever's left from that $100 that I withdrew from the week, because I get paid twice a month, then that's extra cash I can set to the side and spend on whatever I want, which in this case would have been books. So let's go ahead and delve into this. I'm going to save today's purchases for last. So let me organize. 1 second. Let's start with the books I got from subscription services for this month. And there are going to be more books that are going to arrive this month. I have a pre-order, and then I have 2 mangas that I ordered that are the next in this series, but this is the only time I can film this haul, so they're going to be included in next month's haul. And then if any book boxes arrive after this point, I'll try and do it's different to sit down and film like a 20 or 30 minute video. I can try to fit that in, but to do this big of a haul, I kind of gotta do it today. So these are the only 3 that I have from book boxes so far. This one is called The Red Parts. This is an autobiography of a trial by Maggie Nelson. And this is a nonfiction. And this one says, late in 2004, Maggie Nelson was looking forward to the publication of her book, Jane, a Murderer, a narrative in verse about the life and death of her aunt, who had been murdered 35 years before. The case remained unsolved, but Jane was assumed to have been the victim of an infamous serial killer in Michigan in 1969. Then one November afternoon, Nelson received a call from her mother, who announced that the case had been reopened. A new suspect would be arrested and tried on the basis of a DNA match. Over the months that followed, Nelson found herself attending the trial with her mother and reflecting anew on the aura of dread and fear that hung over her family in childhood, an aura that derived not only from the terrible facts of her aunt's murder, but also from her own complicated journey through sisterhood, daughterhood, and girlhood. So, The Red Parts. And this other one is a short, very short story. It is called Bottled by Stephanie Ellis. And it says, the house was his, an unwanted and unwelcome inheritance. As a child, Tyler Vitrum spent many miserable hours beneath its roof, hating his grandfather and the man's housekeeper, Mrs. Waits. His only escape during those visits had been via the impossible bottles created by his granddad, bottles holding miniature worlds in which he could lose himself for hours. Sometimes, however, he sensed something else living in the house and in the bottles, and when he returned home, he took the nightmares with him. Now an adult, Tyler decides one last visit can do no harm. Allow him to finally shake off his nightmares. The bottles, however, are waiting, and so is Mrs. Waits. As both house and bottles gradually yield up their secrets, it is made clear to Tyler what is expected of him and what will happen should he fail. Is Tyler master or servant of the house? So that's Bottled. And the other one that came from a book subscription, this one came from Once Upon a Book Club, and that's Nightbirds. This is I believe the YA one. This was written by Kate J. Armstrong. So I think this is the YA book. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Okay, but the synopsis says, the Nightbirds are Cyntha's best kept secret. With just a kiss, these privileged girls can temporarily gift their rare yet potent magic to those looking to gain advantages in life, business, or love. But magic, especially the magic of women, is outlawed, and the city's religious sects would see them burned if discovered. So, prosecuted by the great houses, their identities kept protected by the great houses, their identities kept secret. The Nightbirds are well-guarded treasures. Such girls are usually a tight-knit group, but this season's Nightbirds couldn't be more different. Mathilde, so certain of her gilded world and her place in it, is less sure of Sayre, a girl from the wrong side of the canal with a score to settle, and Isa, who's afraid of her magic and herself. But when they find themselves at the heart of a political conspiracy that threatens not only their secrets but their very lives, they must band together to take on powerful forces who want to lay claim to them. And as they discover the truth about their magic, that it's much more powerful than they've been told, they begin to hone it, readying themselves to take down the entire Nightbird system that dared to clip their wings. So, Nightbirds by Kate J. Armstrong. So I believe this is YA. So that's all that came in book subscriptions. Now, let's go ahead and tell you about the books that I got that are part of a series. So these are the ones that I ordered online. So I finished this month A Time of Dread, which is book 1 in a Blood and Bone series by Gwynne. Loved it so much, I had to get the second one, which is A Time of Blood. So I'm not going to read the synopsis on this one because I don't want to spoil anything for the first book. So we're going to leave it at that. So this is very much a very heavy war. It is graphic as far as bloodshed, you know, like being decapitated and guts spilling and blood. Anyway, all of that because it's war. And the thing with Gwynne is he is not afraid to kill off a character that you grow to love. So you do get characters that you are fond of being killed. And that was the same one in his other series that I read, which was the Faithful and the Fallen series. Same thing. And this series would need to be read after the Faithful and the Fallen series because there are characters in this book that reflect back on the events of that previous series. So anyway, got that one so that I have that on deck, ready to go when I'm ready for it. The next one I got is the third book in the Sarah Scribbles collection. This is called Herding Cats. I read this month the second one, which is called A Mushy Happy Lump, it looks like. This just is a collection of comics where she just relates to life and kind of pokes fun at life situations. So that's all it is. It's very comedic, it's very funny, and enjoyable. And then the next one I got is Giant Days, Volume 2. I read Volume 1 this month as well. Fell in love with it. Needed the second one. You're following these girls in college as they're finding out about themselves. So, yeah, kind of a slice of life type of a thing. Okay, now let's go with books that I got from Goodreads. So this stack are books I won from Goodreads. These all came this month. Now these I did not win recently. Some of these are a couple of months ago is when I won them and they just finally showed up. So these in my hand are all ARCs. So no, one is a finished copy. I'm going to save that one for last. So 5 ARCs. So let's go ahead and see what I can tell you about these ones. This first one is called Such Good Friends, a novel of Truman Capote and Lee Radziwill by Stephen Greco. This one is set to release June of 2023. And let's see, sometimes the synopsis is actually inside. On a Thursday morning in May 1961, a well-mannered 21-year-old named Marlene enters the Fifth Avenue apartment of Lee Radziwill to interview for the position of housekeeper and cook. The stylish wife of London-based Prince Stanislaw Radziwill, Princess Lee is intelligent and creative, with ambitions beyond simply jet-setting. But to the public, she's always First Lady Jackie Kennedy's little sister. As Marlene becomes a trusted presence at the Radziwill household, she observes the dizzying array of famous figures who flit in and out of Lee's intimate circle, including Gloria Vanderbilt, Rudolph Nureyev, Jackie and the President, Ari Onassis, Gore Vidal, Andy Warhol, and most regularly celebrated author Truman Capote, I don't know. At the height of his fame following the success of Breakfast at Tiffany's, Truman granted Lee a place of honor in his flock of glamorous socialite swans. Their closeness stems from an unexpected kinship. Both know too well the feeling of being second best. Seeing his shadow in the women he refers to as seeing his shadow in the woman he refers to as his most unconventional swan, Truman uses his influence and talent to try to make Lee a star. Their bond deepens through the decade's extraordinary events, from JFK's assassination to the era-defining black and white ball. But Marlene, who Truman has taken under his wing as an inspiring writer, can see Truman's darker side, especially his penchant for mining his friends' private lives for material. And there are betrayals on either side that may signal the end, not just of a friendship, but of the shared expectation that wealth and fame can shield against every heartbreak. So, such good friends. Okay. The next one that came is A Right-Worthy Woman by Ruth P. Watson. This is set to be released June 13th of 2023. And this one says, let's see, Maggie Alina Walker was ambitious and unafraid. Her childhood in 19th century Virginia, helping her mother with her laundry service, opened her eye to the overwhelming discrepancy between the black residents and her mother's affluent white clients. She vowed not only secure the same kind of home and finery for herself, but she would also help others in her community achieve the same. With her single-minded determination, Maggie buckled down and went from school teacher to secretary-treasurer of the Independent Order of St. Luke, founder of a newspaper, a bank, and a department store where black customers were treated with respect. With the help of influential friends like W.E.B. Du Bois and Mary McLeod Bethune, she revolutionized Richmond in ways that are still felt today. Now her rich, full story is revealed in this stirring and intimate novel. So, I look forward to that one. That one sounds really good. I'm really excited to get to that one. Okay. This next arc is Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torzs. This one is set to come out June of 2023 as well. It says, for generations, the Colote family has guarded a collection of ancient and rare books. Books that let a person walk through walls or manipulate the elements. Books of magic that half-sisters Joanna and Esther have been raised to revere and protect. All magic comes with a price, though, and for years the sisters have been separated. Esther has fled to a remote base in Antarctica to escape the fate that killed her own mother, and Joanna has isolated herself in the family home in Vermont, devoting her life to the study of these cherished volumes. But after their father dies suddenly while reading a book Joanna has never seen before, the sisters must reunite to preserve their family legacy. In the process, they'll uncover a world of magic far bigger and more dangerous than they ever imagined, and all the secrets their parents kept hidden, secrets that span centuries, continents, and even other libraries. So, there you go. Okay, next up I have The Secret Diaries of Charles Ignatius Sancho, written by Paterson Joseph. It says on sale April of 2023. I'm not sure exactly what date, so I don't know if it's already out or if it's still yet to come out this month. It says at 1746 and Georgian London, I always struggle with that word. Anyway, is not a safe place for a young black man. Charles Ignatius Sancho must dodge slave catchers and worse, and his main ally, a kindly duke who taught him to write, is dying. Sancho is desperate and utterly alone. So how does the same Charles Ignatius Sancho meet the king, write and play highly acclaimed music, find his beloved Anne, become the first black person to vote in Britain, and lead the fight to end slavery? Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, next up I have The Splinter in the Sky, written by Kemi Ashing-Giwa. I'm sure I said that wrong. I apologize. This is set to come out July 11th of 2023. It says, the dust may have just settled in the failed war of conquest between the Holy Valbaran Empire and the Omni-Irish Republic. But the last emperor's surrender means little to a lowly scribe like Entian. All she wants is to quit her day job and expand her fledgling tea business. But when her lover is assassinated and her sibling is abducted by imperial soldiers, Entian abandons her idyllic plans and weaves her tea tray up through the heart of the Valbaran capital. There she will learn just how far she is willing to go to exact vengeance, free her siblings, and perhaps even secure her homeland's freedom. So, again, July 11th of 2023 is the release date. Now, the other one that I won was this one. This is Jovian Son by Kim Catanzarite. This is book 2 in a duology. And this is actually, came with 2 stickers. They stuck 2 stickers, book stickers. One's a book number 1 and the other one's a book number 2. And then it says, March 2023 to Christine, you are a winner. Happy reading. And then it is signed by the author. So I thought that was really cool. So I have book 1 on my ebook, but I wanted, where I have the physical copy of this, of book number 2, I obviously had to order book number 1, so that's what I did. So I won this one, Jovian Son, through Goodreads. But I'm going to read you the synopsis of this one, which this also arrived this month, and I ordered this one because the other one arrived and I wanted a physical copy to match. So, in this gripping psychological thriller, Svetlana Peterman has met her soulmate in Andrew Jovian, a young astronomer who works for Starbright International, the aerospace company his wealthy parents own. Once married, they make a home in Kirksburg, Pennsylvania, a small town famous for a UFO sighting that occurred in the 1960s. Svetlana is, for once, truly happy, except that Andrew's family is strange, and not in a normal strange kind of way. Preoccupied with only 2 things, the night sky and carrying on their family lineage, the Jovians lack social skills and often pry into Svetlana's personal life. Her intimidating mother-in-law demands she get busy fulfilling her reproductive duty to the family, and Andrew's eccentric uncle seems to be able to read her mind. Feeling bullied and wanting a career before motherhood, Svetlana takes precautions but ends up pregnant anyway. But that's the least of her worries when she discovers the Jovians have a monumental secret that will change her fate and that of her child's forever. A secret so powerful it could alter the course of mankind. Sounds really good, so I'm really looking forward to that one. So those are the ones that I won from Goodreads, of course, other than the book number 1 and that duology that I did get. Okay, so these next 2 books I ordered from Amazon. One is another Donna Ashcroft. I love Donna Ashcroft's writing. These are romance. I've read 1 by hers that was closed door. 2 did have the sex depicted on the scene. I don't know anything else. This one is called Summer in the Scottish Highlands. It's a utterly perfect feel-good romantic comedy. It says, 30-year-old Paige Dougall's life is a mess. Only a year ago, she was smashing all of her life's goals. Handsome husband, high-flying job, cute kid. But in just under 12 months, everything has gone wrong. Nursing a broken heart, single mother Paige returns to her childhood home in a picture-perfect Scottish village to try and get her life together. Paige is too wrapped up in her worries to embrace the beautiful rolling hills and lavender-scented air in the Highlands. That is until Johnny Becker, the infuriatingly cheerful chef, with his twinkling eyes and dimpled smile, steps onto the scene and provides Paige with some much-needed distraction. Johnny challenges Paige to step outside her comfort zone and focus on the things that really matter, from food tasting to puppy training to mountain climbing. In every moment she spends with Johnny, Paige finds herself remembering how to live again. Will she be able to love again too? So, yes, Summer in the Scottish Highlands. I love that these take place. One, they take place in Scotland. I like books that take place in Scotland and Ireland, especially when it's a small town. So it's like, yes, love that. Okay, so I got that one. And this other one, I've heard a lot of people talk about, and then I had someone comment and say, I think you would absolutely really love this. They commented on one of my previous videos. And so I went ahead and got this one. And And it seems really cute, and it seems like people absolutely love it, and that it's just really cute, and that's Kiki's Delivery Service. I don't know anything about it other than that they think I'll like it. And I love the fact that there's a black cat hanging on the broom there. So Kiki's Delivery Service, it says, half-witch Kiki never runs from a challenge. So when her 13th birthday arrives, she's eager to follow a witch's tradition, find a new town to call home for 1 year. Brimming with confidence, Kiki flies off to the seaside village of Greco, expecting that her powers will easily bring happiness to the townspeople. But gaining the trust of the locals and finding success is thicker than she expected. With her faithful, wisecracking black cat, Gigi, by her side, Kiki faces new challenges and forges new friendships, ultimately realizing that magic can be found even in the most ordinary places. This sounds really cute, and a lot of people love it, and the way I've heard it described on BookTube, I think I will enjoy it too, and it was just a bonus that someone commented on my video saying she thinks I would really like this, so I went with that recommendation. That was just the push I needed to get it to try it out. Now, these books that I'm going to show you, oh wait, no, this is another one that I ordered. Okay, let me go with this one. Okay, so this is another one I ordered from one of my paychecks, and that is The Sculptress by V.S. Alexander. V.S. Alexander writes historical fiction. I've read one book by him, absolutely loved it, want more of his work. So this is The Sculptress, and I love just the blue gradient. It's like everything is blue on here. Absolutely love that. It says, May 1917, the elegant streets of Boston are thousands of miles away from the carnage of the Western Front. Yet, even here, amid the clatter of horse-drawn carriages and automobiles, it is impossible to ignore the war raging across Europe. Emma Lewis Swan's husband, Tom, has gone to France, eager to do his duty as a surgeon. Emma, a sculptress, has stayed behind, pursuing her art despite being dismissed by male critics. On the bustling sidewalk, she spies a returned soldier. His brutally scarred face inspires first pity and then something more, a determination to use her skill to make masks for disfigured soldiers. And I apologize, I do stumble over that word because my mouth wants to form shoulders, even though I know it's soldiers and I can say it, especially when I visualize. I have to literally visualize it because otherwise I just stumble over that stupid word. Soldiers. Okay. Continuing on, the synopsis reads, leaving Boston for France also means leaving behind Linton Bower, a fiery, gifted artist determined to win her. Emma's union with Tom has been steady yet passionless, marred by guilt over a choice she made long ago. In Paris, she crafts intricate, lifelike masks to restore these wounded men to the world. But in the course of her new career, she will encounter one man who compels her to confront the secrets she's never revealed, not even to Tom. Only by casting off the facade she has worn for so long can she pursue a path through heartbreak and turmoil toward her own unexpected future. So, and then a couple of days into the month, I want to say, let me get my phone. It was the first Monday or Tuesday in the month. Yeah, so it was like the 3rd or the 4th day of April. Sorry, you're seeing some clothes. I'm trying to make room for stuff. Anyway, so my mom and I went to Barnes & Noble. I had cash from doing my nails for a couple of months, so I bought myself some books with that cash. And most of the books, if not all of them, are in the horror thriller genre, which actually works because May is Horror Mayhem. The original creators, their channel is the Bookish Bryants. They created it. We did themed weeks last year. As far as I know, there's not any themed weeks. You just read horror. It is. Now, I can't read all the same genre, otherwise I will get burnt out on that genre. So I will read as much horror as I can in May, but it also depends on my Catwalk TBR game, what I'm able to get on, what I'm in the mood for, and again, I may end up reading just one horror thriller book and calling it good. So, who knows? And the emphasis is to read, from what I've seen in the chatting, is to read more short stories. So, but And I do have some on my Kindle. So I do have a lot of options of what I can read for Horror Mayhem, but I don't know what I'm going to get to. So we'll see. So I'm kind of just low-key participating. Anyway, so these are the books that I got with all the cash that I had left over from getting my nails done and just kind of been saving it up, and I had fun shopping. So I read one book by Sally Hepworth, and it was actually an arc, and I don't remember the title of it. Oh, I think it was called The Good Sister, and this main sister's point of view that you're following in that book is autistic. And so I wanted another one for Sally Hepworth, and this one caught my eye. So I got The Soulmate, What Happens When Love Pushes You to the Edge. This one says, picture a lovely cottage on a cliff with sloping lawns, walking paths, and beautiful flowers. It's Gabe and Pippa Gerard's dream home in a sleepy coastal town. But their perfect house hides something sinister. The tall cliffs have become a popular spot for people to end their lives. Over the past several months, Gabe comes to their rescue, literally talking them off the edge, until one day he doesn't. When Pippa discovers Gabe knew the victim, the questions spiral. Did the victim jump? Was she pushed? And would Gabe, the love of Pippa's life, her soulmate, lie? As the perfect facade of their marriage begins to crack, the deepest and darkest secrets begin to unravel. Because sometimes the most convincing lies are the ones we tell ourselves. Ain't that the truth? So, Soulmate, I look forward to this. I really enjoyed Sally Hepworth's writing in The Good Sister. So, I look forward to getting to that. And that's the only hardback that I got. The rest of these are paperback. So, and these were all title and, yeah, pretty much cover buys. And one of them I've heard of on YouTube before, and let's go ahead and talk about that one. This one I've heard about a lot on YouTube, and I have just been intrigued by it, so I went ahead and got House of Leaves, so by Mark Z. Danielewski. I'm not sure how to say that. And I'm not sure what this is about. Let's see. Years ago, when House of Leaves was first being passed around, it was nothing more than a badly burned heap of paper, parts of which would occasionally surface on the internet. No one could have anticipated the small but devoted following this terrifying story would soon command. Starting with an odd assortment of marginalized youth, musicians, tattoo artists, programmers, strippers, environmentalists, and adrenaline junkies, the book eventually made its way into the hands of older generations, who not only found themselves in those strangely arranged pages, but also discovered a way back into the lives of their estranged children. Now, for the first time, this astonishing novel is made available in book form, complete with the original colored words, vertical footnotes, and newly added second and third appendices. The story remains unchanged, focusing on a young family that moves into a small home on Ash Tree Lane when they discover something terribly wrong. Their house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So I still don't really know what it's about. And this book is heavy. It's heavy. And, I mean, it's over 600 pages. But I've held 600-page books before that don't feel this heavy. And so it's different. There's different formats in here. Some are typed. You've got things like that. Pages where it's just one line. Let's see. A bunch of X's. So I have been intrigued. I've heard a lot of people talk about this. And so I went ahead and picked that up. I'm going to put that down because it's heavy. So, all right. So these are the next books. These are all just completely cover buys. And they're all, the guy at Barnes & Noble was like, oh, you're in a horror mood, are you? I guess so. This one is The Ritual by Adam Neville. It says, now a major motion picture. So I'm going to have to watch the movie or after I read the book. So here's the cover. Eerie and a skull on a post. So let's see. When four old university friends set off into the Scandinavian wilderness of the Arctic Circle, they aim to briefly escape the problems of their lives and reconnect with one another. But when Luke, the only man still single and living a precarious existence, finds he has little left in common with his well-heeled friends, tensions rise. With limited experience between them, a shortcut meant to ease their hike turns into a nightmare scenario that could cost them their lives. Lost, hungry, and surrounded by forest, untouched for millennia, Luke figures that things couldn't possibly get any worse. But then they stumble across a derelict building. Ancient artifacts decorate the walls, and there are bones scattered upon the dry floors. The residue of old rites and pagan sacrifice for something that still exists in the forest. Something responsible for the bestial presence that follows their every step. As the four friends stagger in the direction of salvation, they learn that death doesn't come easy among these ancient trees. That sounds good. And I'm reading the synopsis of these for the first time. So I have not read the synopsis on any of these. Okay, next up, I actually ended up getting two, and I didn't realize until I got home, but two from the same author. So let's go ahead and do that. This first one is called The Haunting of Lee Harker by Darcy Coates. This is the one where I ended up buying two of Darcy Coates' books that first, like the 4th of April. Let's see, it says, sometimes the dead reach back. Lee Harker's quiet suburban home was her sanctuary for more than a decade, until things abruptly changed. Curtains opened by themselves, radios turn on and off, and a dark figure looms in the shadow of her bedroom's door at night, watching her, waiting for her to finally let down her guard enough to fall asleep. Pushed to her limits but unwilling to abandon her home, Lee struggles to find answers, but each step forces her towards something more terrifying than she ever imagined. A poisonous shadow seeps from the locked door beneath the stairs. The handle rattles through the night and fingernails scratch at the woods. Oh yes, at the wood. Okay, this is sounding really good. Her home harbors dangerous secrets, and now that Leigh is trapped within its walls, she fears she may never escape. That sounds so good. Okay, this next Darcy Coates one is called From Below. This one looks like it's going to take place, that water is going to be a big theme in this. So From Below, so as you can see, there's a scuba diver, and then that's a woman. So, yeah. This one says, no light, no air, no escape. Hundreds of feet beneath the ocean's surface, a graveyard waits. Years ago, during a routine voyage, the SS Arcadia vanished without a trace. Though a strange, garbled emergency message was broadcast, neither the ship nor any of its crew could be found. 60 years later, its wreck has finally been discovered more than 300 miles from its intended course, a silent graveyard deep beneath the ocean's surface, eagerly waiting for the first sign of life. Cove and her dive team have been granted permission to explore the Arcadia's rusting hull. Their purpose is straightforward: examine the wreck, film everything, and, if possible, uncover how and why the supposedly unsinkable ship vanished. But the Arcadia has not yet had its fill of death, and something dark and hungry watches from below. With limited oxygen and the ship slowly closing in around them, Cove and her team will have to fight their way free of the unspeakable horror now desperate to claim them. So this takes place in the ocean, in the sea, not like mermaids, but scuba divers. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. So excited for that one. Okay. Next up, I have episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. I'm guessing is how that one is said. It says, okay, from the macabre mind of Bram Stoker, award-nominated author. Okay, so it's telling us award-nominated. Great. Okay. Here we go. Fade to Black is the newest hit ghost hunting reality TV show, led by husband and wife team Matt and Claire Kirkland. It features a dedicated crew of ghost hunting experts. Episode 13 takes them to every ghost hunter's holy grail, the Paranormal Research Foundation. This crumbling derelict mansion holds secrets and clues about bizarre experiments that took place there in the 1970s. It's also undoubtedly haunted, and Matt hopes to use scientific techniques and high-tech gear to prove it. But as the house begins to slowly reveal itself to the crew, proof of an afterlife might not be everything Matt dreamed of. Yeah, I love books with hauntings. Paranormal activity in fiction books. Absolutely love it. Okay. Next up I have, this one also looks like water is going to be a big thing in this one. It's called The Hidden by Melanie Golding. So that's the book. This one says, one dark December night in a small seaside town, a little girl is found abandoned. When her mother finally arrives, authorities release the pair, believing it to be an innocent case of toddler running off. Gregor, a seemingly single man, is found bludgeoned and left for dead in his apartment, but the discovery of children's toys raises more questions than answers. Well, that's not good. Every night, Ruby gazes into Gregor's apartment, leading to the discovery of his secret family, his unusually silent daughter, and his mentally unstable wife, Constance, who insists that she is descended from the mythological Selkies. She begs Ruby to aid in finding the sealskin that Gregor has hidden from her, making it impossible to return to her people. Detective Sergeant Joanna Harper's investigation into Gregor's assault leads her to CCTV footage of the mother-daughter pair from town. Harper realizes she knows the woman almost as well as she knows herself. It's her estranged daughter, Ruby. No matter the depth of Ruby's involvement, she knows she will choose her daughter over her career. Steeped in local legend and expounding the depths of what it means to be a mother, this is an atmospheric folktale for the modern age. So, The Hidden. Okay. This next one is called Lock the Doors by Vincent Ralph. I think this one was on the YA table, along with the next one that I'll talk about. And this one says, Tom's family has just moved into their dream home, but he quickly realizes something is very wrong. There are strange messages written on the walls, as well as a lock on the outside of his bedroom door. The previous owners of the house have moved right across the street. Their daughter Amy is beautiful and enigmatic. Although they appear to be the perfect family, Tom is sure Amy is hiding something. As his obsessive hunt into the past reveals sinister secrets, both families come to find out that it's impossible to keep the truth behind locked doors. Sounds good. They all sound good. Okay, this next one is a fairly short one. Looks like it's not 300 pages. It's around 275-ish pages. And that is Flight 171, Fasten Your Seatbelts by Amy Christine Parker. Finally found another author with my name. Don't see a lot of authors with the Christine in there. Evil on board. Devon Marsh is haunted by secrets, like the identity of the person who killed her twin sister, Emily, in a hit-and-run accident last Halloween, which Devon has vowed to uncover. Like the things Devon said to Emily just before she died. Devon is determined to start fresh when she boards a 4-hour flight along with her classmates for their senior class ski trip, but she never could have guessed that her secrets will surface in the most terrifying way when a supernatural creature hijacks their flight and gives the students a deadly ultimatum. Choose one among them to sacrifice before the end of the flight, or the plane will crash. As the clock ticks down, the creature slowly unearths the passenger's deepest, darkest secrets and reveals that one of the teens on the plane is responsible for Emily's death. If the students can't agree on a sacrifice, there won't be any survivors. Can Devon find a way to stop the creature, or will she give in to her anger and let revenge take control? Yeah. I like it when someone's on a revenge vendetta type kick. Yeah. So, anyway. So that's from the first trip to Barnes & Noble. Okay. I'm on the last couple of books to tell you about. So, Junjun Ito, Tombs. It says, countless tombstones stand in rows throughout a small community, forming a bizarre tableau, I don't know. When fate awaits a brother and sister after a traffic accident in this town of the dead. In another tale, a girl falls silent, her tongue transformed into a slug. Can't a friend save her? Then a young man moves to a new town. He finds the house next door has only a single window. What does his grotesque neighbor want, calling out to him every evening from that lone window? This is a manga. Junjun Ito is like the king of horror mangas. And I've read 3 of the manga books by this author. I have one off to the side and thought I'd pick this one up as well. So, and it's short horror manga books or stories. So there's that one. And then when I walked in, I was drawn to this cover. So this is the end pages. Thought these were absolutely gorgeous. Just green, but stunning end pages. And the back is the same. This is by Brandon Sanderson. This is Trees of the Emerald Sea. And here's the cover. I was drawn in by this. And there is a note from the author. It says, "Dear reader, I started writing this in secret as a novel just for my wife. She urged me to share it with the world, and alongside 3 other secret novels with the support of readers worldwide, it grew into the biggest Kickstarter campaign of all time. I'm excited to present the first book to you at last. A different type of Brandon Sanderson story, one I wrote when there was no time constraints, no expectations, and no limits on my imagination. Come be a part of the magic." So this is going to be the first in a series. I don't know how long it's going to be. Probably 3 parts. I don't know. This one says, the only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when her father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place, sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death? Sounds good, but complete cover by. So, okay, 2 from the same author. I have Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. It says, on a warm summer morning in North Carthage, Missouri, it is Nick and Amy Doone's 5th wedding anniversary. Presents are being wrapped and reservations are being made when Nick's clever and beautiful wife disappears. Husband of the year, Nick isn't doing himself any favors with cringe-worthy daydreams about the slope and shape of his wife's head, but passages from Amy's diary reveal that the alpha girl perfectionist could have put anyone dangerously on edge. Under mounting pressure from the police and the media, as well as from Amy's fiercely doting parents, the town golden boy parades an endless series of lies, deceits, and inappropriate behavior. Nick is oddly evasive, and he's definitely bitter. But is he really a killer? From what I've heard of this author, people love this author's work. So the other one I got is Sharp Objects. And I like how simple the covers are. Fresh from a brief stay at a psych hospital, reporter Camille Preaker faces a troubling assignment. She must return to her tiny hometown to cover the murders of 2 preteen girls. For years, Camille has hardly spoken to her neurotic, hypochondriac mother, or to the half-sister she barely knows, a beautiful 13-year-old with an eerie grip on the town. Now, installed in her old bedroom in her family's Victorian mansion, Camille finds herself identifying with the young victims, a bit too strongly. Dogged by her own demons, she must unravel the psychological puzzle of her own past if she wants to get the story and survive this homecoming. So, that sounds good. And I've been intrigued by this author. I've heard a lot of good things. Okay, so we're on just the last couple. So, and one is going to be an unwrapping. So I don't even know what it is. Next up I have At Somerton by, this is the At Somerton, I think is the name of the series. This is book number 1, and it's called Cinders and Sapphires by Layla Rashid. Love the cover. In a world where duty eclipses love, and I think this one's a YA. No. Yes, I think I got this from the YA section. For the first time in a decade, the Averleys have returned to Somerton, their majestic ancestral estate. But terrible scandal has followed Ada's beloved father all the way from India. Now Ada finds herself torn between her own happiness and her family's honor. Only she has the power to restore the Averley name, but it would mean giving up her one true love, someone she could never persuade her father to accept. Rose Cliff has never met a young lady like her new mistress. Clever, rich, and beautiful, Ada Averley treats Rose as an equal, and Rose could use a friend. especially now that she, at barely 16, has risen to the position of lady's maid. Rose knows she should be grateful to have a place at a house like Somerton. Still, she can't help but wonder what her life might have been had she been born a lady like Ada. Sumptuous and enticing. Okay, then it's like, this is a great series. It's the first in the series. Next up, I got this one, Beach Read by Emily Henry. All these books sound really good. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens A Happily Ever After, he kills off his entire cast. They are polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love, really. And I've heard that this actually takes place on a lake and not a beach. And how much of it they're at the lake or the beach, I don't know. So I've heard a lot of people, the title misleads a lot of people on that, which it would me too. So I'm glad I know going in not to expect the ocean. So this next one is called The Siren of Sussex. Absolutely love the cover of this one. And this is the first book in a series. This was written by Mimi Matthews. And this one says, Evelyn Maltravers understands exactly how little she's worth on the marriage mart. As an incurable blue stocking from a family tumbling swiftly toward ruin, she knows she'll never make a match in a ballroom. Her only hope is to distinguish herself by making the biggest splash in the one sphere where she excels, on horseback, in haute couture. But to truly capture London's attention, she'll need a habit maker who's not afraid to take risks with his designs and with his heart. Ahmed Malik has always had a talent for making women feel beautiful, inching his way toward recognition as a tailor despite his prejudices against his Indian heritage by designing riding habits for Rotten Row's infamous pretty horsebreakers, but no one compares to Evelyn. Her unabridged spirit enchants him, awakening a depth of feeling he never thought possible. But pushing boundaries comes at a cost, and not everyone is pleased to welcome Evelyn and Ahmed into fashionable society. With obstacles spanning between them, the indomitable pair must decide which hurdles they can jump and what matters most, making their mark or following their hearts. So, it sounds really good, and I am really excited to get to that one. Okay, this last one, I don't know what it is. So at the front of the store, there was a table that had these. It had like adult, romance, YA, whatever. And I went with a YA horror. So we don't know what it is. And so it just has the cost and the SKU number for the SKU number for the cashier to pen it into their system so I could pay for it. And the hint is, move over Pennywise. This is what teen slasher dreams are made of. So, I don't have this one, and I've actually thought of getting this one. Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. So, yeah, let's see. Quinn Maybrook just wants to make it to graduation, but she might not make it to morning. When Quinn and her family moved into a tiny town with a weird clown for a mascot, they were looking for a fresh start. But ever since the town's only factory shut down, Kettle Springs has been cracked in half. Most of the town believes that the kids are to blame. After all, the juniors and seniors at Kettle Spring High are the ones who threw the party where Arthur Hill's daughter died. They're the ones who set the abandoned factory on fire and who spend all their time posting pranks on YouTube. They have no respect and no idea what it means to work hard. For the kids, it's the other way around. And now, Kettle Springs is caught in a constant battle between old and new, tradition and progress. It's a fight that looks like it will destroy the town, until one homicidal clown with a pork pie hat and a red nose decides to end it for good. Because if your opponents all die, you win the debate by default. And it looks like this is part of a series because it says don't miss, and it has the image of another book. It says don't miss Clown in a Cornfield, Friendo Lives 2. So that's the book, and yeah, so I'm happy with that. So that's my physical book haul for the month of April. Again, I am expecting 3 more, but they will come later on in the month, close enough to the end that I'll just include them in May's book haul. So that's going to be it for this video. Have you read any of these books? Are there any books you would like to recommend that I can definitely look into in the future? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comments section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.